Hi guys, Nerdy Perkins here, bringing you my live reaction to My Hīrō Academia, Chapter 95, The End of the Beginning and the Beginning of the End. So let's see, some text on the front, on the sides rather. The fundamental battle between good and evil. That previous night, the people of the world witnessed a modern myth come to life. So the next morning, society was in a state of chaos, and we see the rubble from the battle. It's pretty intense. Lots of buildings knocked down, and we have some helicopters flying overhead. So we have Camino wards, half destruction. All Might's true form. We see the people reading newspapers on the train. The Nomu we captured are just like the ones we've seen before. They have no human-like responses, and it doesn't seem like we'll be able to acquire new information from them. Because the warehouse where they were being kept was destroyed, all we can do is learn about how they are manufactured. All we can do to learn about how they were manufactured is to continue our ongoing investigations. So this looks like some political guys in a room talking. It's possible that the warehouse was a fake in the first place. No, it's not exactly the proper environment to be carrying out biological experiments. The location's too obvious. We're also collecting whatever personal information we can about the villains from the bar, right? That is still presently under investigation. Ugh. Though we captured their leader, Shigaraki, and the Shigaraki, I think that's how you say it, and the rest of his lot all managed to escape. It may be a bit naive to say this, but all things considered, the result was more or less a tie, no? And one of the other guys, you moron, we lost our symbol of peace. All Might's weakened form was revealed to the world. The symbol of peace that will never fall is no more. Not to the citizens and not to the villains. That is the price we pay for having so much rest on one individual's shoulders. We have this really weird looking guy. He just has it looks like he has antenna, or at least just like two little hairs. So kind of like a little Homer. Anyway, the world was able to see what could happen if a group of idiots gathered together and tried to do something. I'm afraid. Our initial profiling suggested that it had all the sophistication of a child's tantrum, but the chief villain, Shigaraki, so it's a hand guy, every time he adds to his number, his criminal plan gets all the more complicated, all the more cognitizing of the society around him. Shigaraki is thinking and he is growing, and with the fall of All Might, we've now got even fewer deterrents than before, and their number dwindles by the day. Every time the League fails, they get stronger. I don't think they could have wished for more convenient circumstances under which to grow their own power. You think this has all gone according to their plan? Couldn't this just be speculation after the fact? Aren't you being a little too naive? I don't know. However, the one thing I can say for sure is that we have to capture those guys. Yeah, that'd probably be smart. We the police. Okay, so this must be like the top of the police brass, basically. We can no longer just sit around and just receive criminals as they are caught. We must reform our ways. Looks like we are cutting to a hospital. We see a bandaged up hand. It's All Might. The last flame inside me have gone out. The symbol of peace is dead. You just see him sitting there with one of his arms in a sling and the other one is bandaged up. However, there's still some things I have to do. And this is Gran Torino. Shigaraki, Shimura's grandson, huh? That's just what he claimed, right? There's not much basis behind all of that, is there? So that's the detective who's friends with All Might. Did neither of you interact at all with the previous generation of the family? Well, Shimura's husband was killed. That's Gran Torino saying that. To distance her own child as much as possible from the world of heroes, she gave him up to a foster family. She told Toshinori, so I think that's All Might, and me that under no circumstances did she want any of us to come into contact with her child, even if the worst were to happen to her. And in keeping with that, and in keeping that promise, instead this happens. How miserable. So that's the detective. And this is All Might. In parting with her own blood, my master just wanted to do what she could to ensure a life of peace. I have to find Shigaraki. If I do, then he... This is Gran Torino. No. What would you if you found him? You are no longer capable of seeing him as a villain. You would be at a complete loss. No matter what his lineage is, at the end of the day, he's a criminal. Yeah. From now on, the search for Shigaraki will be handled by Tsukauchi, the detective guy, and myself. So him and Gran Torino are going to be doing the investigation. You will remain at UA and carry out all that it is that you still must do. Even if you can no longer be the symbol of peace, All Might is still alive. Okay, and then we have more narration. After that, we met up with Shoto, I think is the... because they have the Todoroki, and I think I'm saying that right. So the Ice and Fire guy and the rest. And took Kachan to the police. Kachan was quiet. Not even half a day later, we all went our separate ways home. We just see them all saying like goodbye. We have Ida. Well then, hardening guy. Thank you everyone. Momo, the three of you are going straight home, right? And then we have Deku. Yep. Really, thank you. And Shoto. I don't know, whatever. See you guys back at school. And we now see Todoroki Shoto looking at his phone. All Might's true form, no longer able to fight, a startling revelation. We have him talking to some girl, maybe his sister, not sure. Ooh, some crazy stuff's been going on, huh? Shoto? You didn't return any of my messages after you went off to visit him. I was getting worried. Welcome back. Oops, no. There we go. It is his sister. Sorry, sis. And we hear there's some noise going on in the background. So it's probably like a slam or something. He just got back a little bit ago. He's been like that since. And this must be Shoto's inner thoughts. If All Might really can no longer stand at the front lines, then the position of number one. And we see training hall. Get up Get up. If you something like this can bring you down, Okay, if something like this can bring you down, then even the stupid villains who are small fry to All Might will be too much for you. Oh wow, he has just destroyed his entire training room. There's like holes in the walls and scorch marks. Not like this. I can't accept it. There's no way I'll accept it. I absolutely cannot accept it. So I think he's he's pretty angry about what happened to All Might. Probably mostly because he didn't get to challenge him, basically, for the #1 spot. But who knows, he may have some sort of camaraderie. So we get Deku's mom. Welcome home, All Might. It looks like he had a rough time. It must have been hard for you to come back, Izuku. Yeah, he says back, and he looks like he goes to his room and slumps onto his bed. What happens now? Did we really do the right thing back there? All Might. So he goes to sleep. He wakes up to, it looks like a text message. He's like drooling, and the light wakes him up. We see him staring at it. We hear thud, 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 thud. And his mom's, he's running out the door, and his mom's yelling back, hold on. Where are you going? Dinner's almost ready. And he just says later. Looks like we are at the beach that he cleaned up. Oh, you're finally here. All Might. Took you long enough. He just says All Might again. He says, Texas. Smash! Ow, he punches him in the face. And his blood still coming out of his mouth. And Deku punch face. He just falls over. You really have a hard time doing as you're told. That was inches from the edge. Sheesh, who says you take after me? Midoriya, I forget how you say his name. Deku, my boy. The truth is, I'm retiring. My body is no longer in the state where I can fight anymore. We see him like kind of almost crying. And All Might takes on his full form. I don't know how long that'll last. And he just goes boo boo boo, and it's blah, blah. The last embers of One for All have gone out, and on top of that, I'm not able to maintain my muscle form anymore. That being said, you, every single time, no matter how many times you're told, you come flying out of nowhere looking for trouble. No matter how many times you're told, you continue to break your body. And that's why he's like reaching out, and Deku's like, oh no, he's about to scold me. This time, for the first time, you were able to get yourself out of harm's way without getting hurt. And that makes me incredibly happy. Oh, he just gives him a hug, wrapping his arm around his head. From here on out, I'm devoting myself to your development, despite my condition. We'll do our best, okay? Oh, he's gonna cry. Oh, mate, Oh, yeah, he's just crying. You really do have a hard time doing as you're told, don't you? How many times have I told you to stop being a crybaby? Oh. The weak, lingering pain in my chest told me with each throb but one thing. This was the end of the age of All Might. Etched in the history, turning over a new leaf. Next chapter, a color cover. Ooh, cool. So yeah, that's the end of 95, and I'd say that's a closing out of this arc. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'll do my review here in a bit. If you liked the video, give it a like, and you can subscribe for more My Hero Academia content. Until next time, guys, stay nerdy.